Blessed, greetings. I am Ras Mike with the bike, aka my original is Michael Dan Samuel, but this is my alias, Ras Mike. I am the last of three siblings for the old lady and my dad. So I've always been with the hand-me-down from my bigger brothers. So I've been actually on bicycles since maybe 7, 8 years old coming along the line, and transitioned to motorcycles as a young teenager, probably 14 years, getting my first um, motocross bike. It was a trail actually, a DT Yamaha 125. My first ride, can I remember my first ride? I think my brother, one day coming home from school, I can remember my brother, he had a 250 CR, and in that time, that's a professional motocross bike. 250 cc's Honda. I came home from Princess Margaret that day, and he had one for his friend, and he asked me if I would like to try it, and I was quite excited, man. Well, super excited. I could hardly get out of my uniform. I remember that clearly, like yesterday. And yeah, I took the ride on that bike, came down the road towards Kentish Road, and basically go around the block, come down to Grace Farm, Knuckle Block, and back up to Kentish Road. So that was basically like a debut on a professional, because in my days coming up, I trained, basically get to know stuff via Samuel Williams, Pidip. That was where I got my coaching from, coming into the biking community. Thing is, I've got some bikes there. The only thing running at the moment, I'm riding the Raptor 250 actually. And this is my brethren Vernon Quinlan's daughter's bike actually. So he allowed me to do my lessons on this, and since 2019 I had the accident. I haven't been up again with regards to my personal run-ins, but we're now on this Raptor 250. It's a nice beginner's bike. I like the smaller bikes because I'm into the tutoring and I can exchange the knowledge quite simpler than having a big, let's say the Raptor 700, that's the big brother to the 250cc. So right now everyone's been seeing me up there, uptown, downtown on the Raptor 250cc 2010 model. Boy, I originally on bicycles started stunting, and it has grown with me. I mean, now that I'm into motorcycling, it's the same thing. I have the passion more or less for the tricks on the bike. Back in the day, we used to do our bunny hops and our tail whips and what have you, and I found it has transitioned on the motorcycle. So it's a little bit of a mixture. Like, for instance, if you asked me to choose between a two-wheeler and a four-wheeler, I might opt for the four-wheeler because I have more tricks on a four-wheeler than the two-wheeler. I am yet to wheelie how I have control with the four-wheeler on a two-wheeler. So there's so much room for me when everybody thinks I'm the thing. I'm like, bro, when I reach nowhere, you understand? Even though time has elapsed because of certain equipment, especially with the two-wheel, you know what I mean? We haven't gone on the tip of the iceberg with regards to tricks. So I'm just still loving the tricks. There's so much room for improvement. And my favorite trick on the four-wheeler would be when I wheelie, get to 12 o'clock, perch it on the wheelie bar and go through my handlebar, doing like a backflip almost and coming back into position. That's like one of my favorites on the quad. No, I haven't gotten a turn off. I mean, play ball, take rubbers. That is to say, when you're into this, you try to prepare yourself mentally. I mean, every day you go out, something is possible. Negatively, that is. But you don't dwell on the negativity, So basically, you stay strong, you go out. I mean, there's never a dull moment. I mean, I've had accidents, and that's just an accident. And I mean, the biggest one being in 2019 when I was hit off the bike it was kind of surprised because I didn't see it coming, you understand? But then there was no deterrent. I mean, got my legs broken, my wrist, and recovering. There was never a dull moment to say, well, I won't ride again. And nah, it never happened with me like that. And I've fallen and I've gotten hit from a bike on the road. This last accident was on the track, but I've had it in traffic where a man failed to brake in time and hit me just before M&M service station. And that propelled me like 9 feet in the air. When I fell to the ground, I was like, fast forward. You understand? So I know what it is, but again, I was back on the bike. There's no deterrent, you know. So when you're on the bike and you're into it, it's kind of entrenched in you. I mean, as I say, I'm a last for my mom. And I had bike I'm the one that kept with it. Like, for instance, on the bicycles, we went to start the wheelie, then we took the front wheel off, then we took the fork off, then we graduated again and put half of the bicycle right in a one-wheeler. So it's transition we've developed, you know what I mean? So I've never had a deterrent, trust me. In 36 years since I've owned a motorcycle, and I've never had a deterrent. I've never looked back. I never thought, hey, you know, give up this. No, I've had incidents, but nothing to deter me. Give thanks. Well, new students, I would admonish that you focus on knowing, because I don't know if you remember G.I. Joe back then. It had a slogan saying, knowing is half the battle. You're halfway there just with knowledge. So my thing would be, hey, there's endless ways in which to do research now with this, you know, computer age. I mean, if you're into something, check it out. I mean, if you're into something, check it out. So you're here on island, check us out. We can give you the ropes. That is roughest to the world. You know, give us a call. I mean, my students, when I deal with them, because I tutor, and my main thing with the manual, any manual bike, is the clutch. I want my students to marry the clutch. The clutch can make you a good rider or break you before you get to be one. So the clutch is very important. I ask my students to concentrate on the clutch on any manual bike. So if you get familiar with the clutch, it can make you a good and excellent rider. Likewise, it can save you from a fall, from a crash, because let's say if a brake might fail, if you have manual transmission, you can gear off and you can use your clutch to manipulate braking and slowing. So my students, I let them marry the clutch. If it's a male student, this is your wife. If it's a female, this is your husband. You get me? So I teach them that, and likewise, I notice a lot of people are doing it. 4 fingers over the clutch and over the brake. Now the brake is almost, it needs 2 fingers, 1 it can operate. So you need the other 3 to hold yourself onto the bike. There is no bike that comes with a seat belt. So you have to hold onto the bike. So we want people to get that in practice. Hold onto your bike, 1 finger or 2 fingers for controls, but you have to. It's imperative that you hold on to the bike. It is imperative. So my students, search, do your research, get a good instructor, and ground yourself before, you know, don't while out. Just take your time, and knowledge is power. Knowing, again, is half the battle. Man, you can't trip me up. You can't trip me up. Yamaha can't trip me up. Now listen, Yamaha is my first bike. That's the first bike I've owned. Yamaha is our only on-island bike manufacturer here, right? So since the 80s, I've been coming up. All I know and repair is mostly Yamaha. Now we have a Honda Motos, but they seldomly bring motorcycles. So we are more favorable and we have more Yamahas on island than any other manufacturer. However, I can never leave out my Honda place. Reason being, a Honda is so well rounded. Oh my days, that is to say, the suspension on a Honda, the tuning, the mid-range, the low end to mid-range power on a Honda. Oh my days, listen, I can't leave the Honda out. Likewise, oh my days, Suzuki, bruh, there's nothing more durable. Suzuki, it's done the test of time. What can I say? And then power to weight, Kawasaki. I have to love Kawasaki for the power. So I don't know what to tell you, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I am just an all-rounder. I can't say that hey, listen, I love them all. Bruh, genuinely, I love them all. There's a story behind each of them. I love them all. I love them all. You know what I mean? So, favorite, I'm just a bike enthusiast, bro. I like to know that there's a new bike coming out. I'm checking it out. You know what I mean? So, we're here in this side of the earth, and you know what? There's a saying that for every temperament or what should I say, aura of a person, there's a bike to suit it. That's what they say. There's so many different bikes, genre of bikes that it could suit personality. That's what that's what they say. So I can't be biased. I'm so over the moon for motorcycling. You check? So I love all of our brands, even the new ones coming up. I like to learn about them, and yeah, I can't be biased. I love them all, my brother. Like, let's support our own. You know what I mean? A few years ago, when Abdra got things into perspective and got a new president and all that, Bike Life was to do the same. Bike Life was to do the same. I mean, we've gone thus far. We've gone to the Friendly Society. We've got our club sanction and everything. We've got our constitution for the club. Thing is, we're just not supporting each other. So my message would be to, you know what I mean, get your groups together, hang out, do events. I mean, officialize your club. What the government said to us with regards to motorsports is that they want other clubs to materialize so that one umbrella-ing body would support them all. So they're going to create a federation. So we now are into motorsports. Let's build our different clubs. Let's associate with each other. I mean, if Headless is having an event, everybody got to go to Headless event. Dudley's Roughest is putting something on, everybody got to support Dudley's Roughest. 268 Riders doing something, and we want other clubs to materialize. It's just an idea. You got an idea, a couple of guys in one area of Antigua, set up your little club. That's what we want to do. My idea was, we set up a club. For me, I have 6 children. I can't go into my pocket on a budget to deal with my bike love. So we set up a club, and together we have a bank account, pay our dues, and when we want anything to do with our bikes, we go to our account. Somebody fell down, needs some skirting, needs a replacement, whatever the case, we have an account for that. So it doesn't take away from your family life. Your wife can't come and say, boy, honey, how are you going to buy the tire this week? Yeah? And you know, no. We want to do the thing right, balance it out. Let's get the clubs and them sorted out. Get your bank account, and the club have fundraisers, and we have our account to deal with the cycles and them so that life can be balanced. So my message is that we just have to support each other. We don't have to stay in Antigua. There is a serious bike life in the Caribbean. Serious bike life in the Caribbean. But we have to support each other. We don't have to stay in Antigua. We have to support some functions in our neighboring islands. And hey, this is where we should be aimed at right now. So my last message, my shout out to Wadadli is to, hey, let's support each other that we can grow. Let us support each other that we can grow and go forward. Yeah, so from Ras Mike with the bike, slow down, but act quickly. Give thanks.
All right. So, what is your name?
Yeah, blessed. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I have to follow the signal.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now my name is Slow Down.